To this Belly Up Media production. Some said we'd go belly up, so we made it our name. And we're still here.
The following announcement has been paid for, but it's for Forward Addicts Podcast.
And we are back, everybody. Yeah, it's been a while. We are back. I got laid out for the 3 count with COVID. It was a last man standing match that I did not win.
You didn't beat the count? Oh, man.
I didn't. I was down for like a 50 count. I could have kept going. Yeah, I went 2.5 solid years of dodging this thing. And
I've never had it.
Oh, keep the streak going. Hopefully it doesn't break like the Undertaker's, but I was laid out. And then, I got back to work and work was swamped. So long story short, finally we are back.
Good to be back.
It is. And, I haven't really had a chance to talk with Sal about this, but we definitely want to be more consistent. And we're going to try to do different episodes and different themes and topics here and there. Survivor Series is next week, next Saturday. It's one of the biggest pay-per-view names, the big 4.
Recently, it's making a resurgence, isn't it?
Exactly. I was just going to say that it's more, excuse me, it feels more important again, and
oh yeah,
it's crazy that it's a week away and there's only 2 announced matches, 3 announced, the 2 war games. And AJ Styles and Finn Balor.
Yeah, you got the 2 war games, AJ Styles and Finn Balor, then Ronda Rousey and Shotzi.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
SmackDown Women's title. So you got that. I'm sure next few weeks they'll probably add some more. I would think. I mean, the two war games matches, that's going to take up a lot of time. Those are long matches. And when you have 2 of them, you really don't need a lot added extra matches on the card. So I would think they would add maybe like 2 more and then just leave it at that.
I could see that. I feel like you have to get Gunther on the show. IC title defense. It looks like we're getting Rollins and Austin Theory, and not talking
about theories. Somebody's theory is no longer happening.
Oh, up in smoke! It wasn't even close. And I was still, not feeling well last week. So Monday Night Raw, I was on.
Then you watch Raw and you really didn't feel well.
Yeah. So I was on NyQuil, knocked me the fuck out. And then I wake up Tuesday to Twitter and I see everyone, saying that Theory failed his cash in. I was like, what? Cash in on what? At the time, it did not make any sense to me at all. It was so.
It still don't.
I don't get it. But you know what though? I felt he was dead and buried by having that happen. But then his promo on Raw, and the fact that he beat the piss out of Ziggler and
Yeah.
Rollins, it's maybe he needed this setback to be like, okay, he didn't deserve this. This was Vince's guy. This is one of Vince's bad decisions that it's not going to pan out. It's going to be forced. So having him lose the U.S. title and the way it happened, it wasn't like clean. Bobby Lashley disqualification or no, Bobby Lashley with the distraction and then the curb stomp. So it's not like he lost clean like Baron Corbin did, to Jinder,
Ooh, geez.
or it wasn't like a
I forgot all
Damian.
about that.
It wasn't a Damian Sandow.
No.
Theory lost almost like how Cena lost. Big shows, outside interference, DQ, and he recovered pretty good this Monday. I feel like now he might get that respect and be taken more seriously now that he doesn't have the Money in the Bank briefcase. He's not doing, the selfies, which is great. So I'm still sticking with him as my guy. He still reminds me of a mix of John Cena and Randy Orton. John Cena for the physique, Randy Orton for the mic and in-ring skill.
No, I agree. Theory has a lot of potential. He is a star. He's the type of guy that, he passes the airport test. He walks in an airport, everybody looks at him like, "Oh, who's that guy over there?" He's got all the tools. He's a great in-ring worker. Last week was brutal. I mean, I was doing coverage on it, and I was stunned. I was just like, "What was that?" It's the biggest L of the Triple H era so far. I think I don't. Not everybody's perfect. You're not. The people on Twitter that are going after Triple H. Oh, I've given up on him. Stop it. Not every booker is going to be perfect. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to do stupid things that people aren't going to like. And this was just one of them. And I thought they rebounded really well this Monday with Austin Theory, the promo, then Ziggler, and it was great.
You know what, though? I feel like Theory's reason made sense story-wise. Like, every time he would go after Roman, everyone got
Right.
involved. Bloodline, Brock, Tyson Fury. So the fact that he felt that the U.S. title was the best title on Raw to go for, like if he went after Roman and he lost because of the Bloodline, I feel like, Theory then has to be in a program with Roman. And he's not going to turn face for that, so
No.
there was just no time for Theory to cash in on Roman. And honestly, he never should have won it in the first place, even with Vince, there.
Yeah.
Because if it was two separate belts, two separate champions, all on board for Theory to have that. But it's not going to be Theory to knock off Roman. If it wasn't Drew, it's not going to be Theory.
No, I agree. Theory said it best in his promo. He said the Money in the Bank was an anchor for him. Like, it just, you had to get it off of him. I just hated the way they got it off of him. But, the guy that won, the Austin Theory that won the Money in the Bank was a Vince creation. It was, the selfies and you couldn't really take him seriously. He kind of had that like not comedy version of himself, but like he wasn't serious. This Monday changed that. This Monday, this is a Triple H version of Theory, and I mean, it's like a 360. It's like a 180. You go last week, and my God, it looked like Theory was gonna get released or something, or he had heat with somebody backstage, and then you come this week, and it's a whole different story. I mean, he ended the show holding the U.S. title over Seth Rollins, who's the biggest right now, the biggest babyface they have on Raw.
And I think with promos like Monday and with how he's booked now,
Mm-hmm.
people will start to forget about that failed cash in. And I even think that they're trying to do that now because on Raw, they mentioned that, Theory joins John Cena as another person who failed his cash in. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing, it's always going to be associated with Cena as people like if John Cena failed his Money in the Bank cash in, and then Austin Theory did too. All right, it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
I'm not saying Austin Theory is going to be a superstar like John Cena, but I mean, the rocket's on. They're just waiting for the right time to light it.
Yeah, he's the type of guy you give the ball to and say, "Okay, go ahead, like run downfield for us." I thought his match with Ziggler was great. I loved it, and you know what? He didn't need if he just walked out of there with a win. If they just said, "Okay, we're going to put you in a match with Ziggler, you to get the win, and you're going to walk out," it wouldn't have done that as much as what he did. He didn't get the win. He was DQ'd or whatever, but that mattered more. The beatdown mattered more. Him flipping out mattered.
Yeah.
Then what happened at the end of the night? He attacked Seth Rollins after the match. It was perfect. I mean, the stock in Theory last week was it cratered,
Yeah.
but it's starting to tick back up after Raw on Monday, this Monday.
If he's closing the show the way he is over, I wouldn't even say the top babyface on Raw. I think Rollins is the number 2 in the company right now. Behind
He's up there.
Roman. Maybe, I mean, is it safe to say Sami Zayn's number 2 with the reaction he's getting? Based off of reactions alone, you got Roman. Every time he comes out, people listen. And once you have Roman, you also have Sami Zayn. And then it's Rollins because, they're singing his theme. He's got a shirt about them singing his theme.
Right.
They love him. And he puts on great matches, pay-per-view quality matches every night.
He's the best. I mean, he's the best Raw has right now. I don't think that's a stretch of me saying that. He's over. They sing his song the entire night. They react to him. He puts on a great match every time they put him out there. He's top 30 right now in the company.
Yeah. And I want to say if a certain someone comes back at Survivor Series, it could be one of two. Yeah, or it could be two. I have a few theories that no pun intended, that I want to discuss with you, Sal.
Okay.
About the women's war games, because there's a lot of question marks, and
yeah,
I tweeted out some predictions that came to fruition, and I want to talk about that. But first, I want to take a really quick break, and then we're going to hop right in to the women's war game match at Survivor Series. Hold on a second. We'll be back. And we're back. So thank you for sticking around. So being that we've been absent for a while, a couple of things happened within the Raw's Women division that affected the War Games match. And, Nikki's cross, her allegiance was questionable on like what side she was on.
Right.
And it seems that, she's with Damage Control. Damage Control was in her corner when Nikki Cross beat Dana Brooke for the 24/7 championship.
No.
And that was funny a couple of weeks ago because everybody was like, what? The title's still here? That doesn't make any sense. Why do we want to see this? And, I give it a 4.5 out of 5. Like, how do you miss the fucking trash can?
Yeah, I liked
Like-
it better though. It almost like it like signified like you're not this title doesn't even deserve the trash. It just deserves the floor. It deserves the floor near the trash. I kind of I know that's not what they were going for, but that's that's what I thought of in my head. I was like that title was so bad doesn't even deserve the garbage.
I love it because it needed to be like official.
Oh
Like
God.
like it needed to be official. Couldn't just be one of those things that pops up a month from now and it's a joke again. It's retired. It's retired on the
Please.
website.
Just keep it that way. I don't want to
Yeah.
see it ever again.
Like I wouldn't be mad if it got the Chris Benoit treatment where just no one talks about it ever again.
Just let's not talk about it ever again. Never. It's like it's like it was like a bad sequel to the hardcore title. That's what it was. It was like a bad sequel.
Yeah, for it, it's one of those things. It's like they remade it and did it this way. It was like
Yeah.
the ECWWE.
Oh God, yeah.
The
That's
ECW
that's a whole
version.
different episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that definitely is. That's definitely something down the line. But Nikki Cross aligned herself with Damage Control. So at that time, it was Bailey, Io, Dakota, and Nikki. And then on the Bianca side, Bianca, Alexa, Asuka, and they were
Mia Yim.
looking for their fourth. And last week
This week.
Well, she came back last week, right?
Yeah, she
Mia
came back with the OC. Yep.
Yeah, Mia Yim came back. She was the OC's answer to Rhea Ripley, and you saw Damage Control trying to get Mia to be on their side, and Mia's like, I got no issues with them,
Right.
So she said no thanks, and then she ended up joining Team Bianca once Rhea, and then what happened first? Was it Mia joining and then Rhea, or?
Yep.
So, once Mia joined up with the faces, Bianca, Rhea Ripley joined.
And they did it in
Damage Control.
on Raw. They did it in the perfect way too. It just everything flowed nicely. They tried to get Mia to come on their side. Damage Control did, and then she declined, but then later on comes back out while Damage Control is in the ring, and she reveals that she's on Bianca's team. And then later on, you get Rhea saying, "Okay, if she's on Bianca's team, I'll be on your team." So I thought that was perfect. And I know some people are disappointed because of I think some people were thinking Sasha and Naomi. I don't think we're gonna see that for a while. I don't think we're seeing. Sasha's gonna do some outside things. I think about outside of wrestling. I don't think she's focused on wrestling right now. I could be wrong, but
I think she could do both, and I think Triple H will let her do both. Because
I think so, but
I feel like everything they're doing now is like in the middle of their like suspension. I feel like they're
Right.
serving time served now while they're not there. Because it's what she talked about on her Instagram like a couple of weeks ago, important dates, big things coming. Listen, Survivor Series is in Boston. Bosstown.
yeah.
I'm seeing rumors that people think that Alexa is going to turn, and that will leave, I guess, 2 spots open. But like that was,
Uh,
I think, before Rhea joined Damage Control,
yeah.
because like it wouldn't make sense for Alexa just to turn and not still be in the match.
I
So
mean, there might be some legs to that because it's also rumored that Alexa Bliss might be involved with Bray Wyatt a little bit. You know, his symbol has been showing up in her segments. So maybe that is the case. Maybe that's the case that she's, I don't know, that
she goes missing.
she goes missing and they don't know where. You could do that. You could do something like that. Maybe, next week they say, well, where's Alexa? We don't know where she is. Has anybody seen her? And then come Survivor Series time, they already have a spot that they needs to be filled. So are they going to go that route? I don't know. I don't think so, but we'll see.
Or Alexa doesn't turn. She's still in the match. And the 5th person is Becky Lynch.
That could be the option because that 5th person has to be a big name.
That 5th person needs to be named before Survivor Series, because everyone is going to assume it's Sasha. And if it's not, and it's Becky, I don't know. I mean, I don't think people will be disappointed if it's Becky. It has to be one
No.
of them. It has to be one. It can't be Charlotte. Don't fucking put
No, it
Dana
wouldn't
Brooke
make
in
sense.
there. Don't
No.
put Dana Brooke in there. It's not
Yeah,
necessary.
I saw some people saying that, and I don't think they would do that. I don't think they put Dana Brooke in there. I hope not, but Charlotte would be a big name, but that doesn't make sense for this. Yeah, I don't. Why would she be on the babyface side?
Exactly.
That doesn't make sense. It has to be Becky, either Becky or Beth Phoenix.
Beth Phoenix for Rhea.
Yeah,
But then it has. If it's gonna be Beth, it needs to be announced Monday. Beth can't
Oh,
be
I
the
agree.
surprise. Beth can't be the
Oh, I
surprise.
agree. Yeah, no, I
She's
agree.
a
I
Hall
mean,
of
if it's
Famer. She's great.
yeah,
She's jacked, but it's not gonna be. She's gonna get the Rey Mysterio treatment.
yeah, I I think people's expectations are very high,
Yeah.
and it kind of got to deliver. I mean, I saw some people saying, well, maybe it's Candice LeRae, but from what I heard, she's hurt. So, and not for nothing, but injuries are kind of derailing war games a little bit, especially on the men's side. But um, I I think it'd be Becky.
I want it to be Becky or Sasha. Sasha would be great, but if you're gonna bring in Sasha like that, I don't think anyone's gonna really care about Naomi. I feel like they have to be
Yeah,
together,
yeah, they'd have to be
so
together.
maybe, you know, you can have something the Friday right before Survivor Series tag match on SmackDown. It could be Alexa and Bianca versus, you know, Bailey and Nikki Cross or whatever.
Hmm.
Middle of the match, lights go out, lights come back on, Alexa's gone.
Yeah, you could do something like that.
You
It would
know,
make sense because they've been showing the symbol in her segments, so it it makes a lot of sense. Bray's trying to recruit people.
and then what you could do is have the women's war game match be the first. Be the
It
first
has to
thing.
be. They have to make that the first match
And
because
then
you gotta have the blood. You gotta have the bloodline, and the bloodline's going on last.
yeah.
Yeah.
So have the women's war games start off, and then after Alexa was kidnapped, the women's war game match starts. Alexa won't be in it. Sasha and Naomi come. Crowd's hyped. Then throughout the show, when they get to the Bray Wyatt LA Night match, that's rumored. I don't know if it was officially announced.
It hasn't been officially announced, but if they need to have Bray Wyatt in a match soon because
So say they do it at Survivor Series. And then how he wins? Lights go out again. They come back on, and Alexa Bliss is dressed as like Fiend Alexa. LA Knight's like, what? Sister Abigail, 1, 2, 3, and then that's the mystery of where Alexa went. Book it.
Yeah, they could do it. And obviously at some point Alexa Bliss is going to be aligning with Bray Wyatt, so do it now.
I agree.
Do it now. I mean, I love Bray Wyatt promos. They're one of the best promos in the business, but it's about time he has a match. So I hope they book that match for Survivor Series. The LA Knight promo with Bray Wyatt was great. So good. It was whoever thought to put those two together, brilliant.
If they're on screen chemistry, with the mic is good, then it's only going to get hopefully better, in the ring and then just further out, because Survivor Series is the last pay-per-view until the Rumble. There's no December pay-per-view, no more day one. So
they might be having day one. I'm not sure yet.
Oh yeah.
From what I heard, it might be back on, but yeah, it could change.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
It's up in the air, but it's also like he needs to get into the ring soon. And you don't want his first match to be on a random SmackDown. Let it be at Survivor Series. Let it be at War Games,
Yeah, that's what I would do. I'd book him in LA Knight, have them have a segment this Friday to build up to it. That's right. I'm mixing my dates up. Full Gear is this weekend, and then next weekend Survivor Series. Okay, so they got time. They got about 2 weeks to build it up.
Yeah. Lots of possibilities. So who knows what could happen. Sasha, Becky, it could be neither, but
yeah, it could be neither. It could be Beth, maybe Candice LeRae. I mean, she's injured, but it would
has to be announced before Survivor Series. That can't be the surprise. Boston,
Triple H likes the surprises.
Yeah, but that's not a
part of me. Part of me thinks like, he might wait, but I don't know.
He likes the surprises, but also Candice LeRae is not a surprise when you're expecting Becky Lynch or Sasha Banks.
Right. Yeah, if he's we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, lots could happen, and a lot has been happening for the men's War Game match.
Yeah.
Did they officially? Is it officially Bloodline, or has it not been like made yet? And like they're looking for members.
It hasn't been set, but it's gonna happen. It's happening.
Yeah, it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be Judgment Day in War Games. Definitely not doing that.
Especially with AJ and Finn having a match as Survivor, they're not going to do that.
Exactly.
But right now it's Bloodline, and they're going to go against Brawling Brutes and Drew McIntyre. And unfortunately, I mean, he hasn't been announced yet that he was going to be on the team, but you knew where it was going. Yeah. Kevin Owens was supposed to be the fifth man, but at a live event, I think this past weekend, an MCL strain or whatever. So, yeah. I mean, it's not the worst injury in the world, but
It's not. It's not what you want to hear.
It's not what you want, and I'm curious to see how they fill that fifth spot. And who knows? Maybe he somehow, some way, he could be in the match. But it's a raining on my parade. I wanted to see that.
That would have been good too, because mainly for Sammy and their their history. But so then, does that mean that neither Sammy or Butch are going to win the SmackDown World Cup?
No. I think one of them will still win it. I don't see.
I thought the finals was at Survivor Series.
Is it at Survivor Series? I don't know when it is.
So
I don't know. Now that you say it, I don't know when they said the finals would be.
Let's see. It's 10 days away. 2 hours, 26 minutes, and 13 seconds.
Is it?
It's not announced. I don't see anything. I could 1000% be mistaken, and I probably am, but okay, that's good then, because I definitely wanted the 5-on-5. It's got to be the whole bloodline. Roland Brutes, McIntyre.
I have something that they can do if KO can't really wrestle. Have him be the manager. Have him be the J.J. Dillon of the babyface side. He still incorporate him in it, and then what you can do, fill that fifth spot. Have Kevin Owens bring over Johnny Gargano from Raw, since they're friends. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he can still, you'll still get the promos back and forth with him and Sammy. You can still get the promos between him and Paul Heyman. I've been thinking about that. I like that idea. Bring Johnny Gargano and put him in the match. He's Kevin Owens' friend. Why not? Have Kevin Owens be in the corner. Still incorporate him. Just because he's hurt, you're not going to incorporate him?
It could also add to the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens story.
Exactly.
Because he's like, Johnny's your friend? What about me?
Yeah.
I thought I was your friend. And
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. That definitely could work, because it's
better than what he's doing with the Miz and Loomis right now.
And I'm a Miz guy. I like the Miz, banging hot wife. Great on the mic. He busted his ass to get where he was. Smoking hot wife. And multiple time Intercontinental champion. Probably one of the greatest IC champions of all time. His wife is smoking hot, by the way. And also,
did I mention that?
I don't think I mentioned that, but I definitely want to see him doing something else, because it's just brutal. Have the match Survivor Series, sign the contract, get it over with.
Yeah,
and move on.
I'm done with it. I liked it in the beginning, but now it's just kind of like they're doing a good job of it. Like, they're making it work, kind of. But it's time to move on. I mean, enough's enough. I've had enough with it.
I agree. It's running its course, and it's funny. Where's Tommaso Ciampa been since this story?
Hurt.
Oh God!
Yeah, I think he had hip. I want to say he had hip surgery, and he's going to be out till next year.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Which is really unfortunate for him, because Triple H just came in, and Ciampa's one of his guys, and
I know that's
a bummer. It's a bummer. The injury bug is out there right now. Not just for WWE, for both companies right now. It's not fun.
Randy Orton just got back surgery the other day.
Yeah,
That
I have some bad feelings about that one. I don't want to say anything, but yeah, we might have seen his last match.
no
But
way.
that's just my guess because everything I've heard about Randy Orton, all the news about this injury, I haven't seen one good thing saying he'll be back. All I've seen is this is like serious. So yeah, it's not concrete, but
Yeah. Listen, if Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels can come back from back injuries, if Sheamus
I think he'll be back.
and Edge could come back from spinal fusion, I got faith. I got faith in my top 5. Randy Orton.
Yeah, I think he'll be back, but I need to start hearing some good news because
Hopefully we
everything
get
I've
it.
heard about him is bad news.
Hopefully we get it.
Yeah,
And this surgery goes
I
well.
hope we do. I know he just had surgery, so maybe in a few months we do.
We're thinking about you, Randy.
Yeah, I'm sure it hasn't helped Riddle's career right now. Riddle losing Randy Orton has not been good for him.
I don't even know how to help him. Like what?
Yeah, I mean, he got that big win over Seth at Extreme Rules, and now he's playing with bongos. I don't like what. I don't know. And Riddle was one of Triple H's guys, and he looks just out of place right now. He's like doing the comedy stuff, and he's bringing out bongos and fooling around with Elias, and not for me. He's a great wrestler. He had a great match with Chad Gable on Raw, but
He had a great match with Roman, but that stipulation booked himself into a corner where
they could easily just say, we could change that, and you could just have a match.
Then they should. Riddle needs to challenge Roman. Paul Heyman brings up the fact that that just stipulation you can't. Then Riddle has to run the gauntlet of the bloodline. He has to beat all members of the bloodline. Sami Zayn ends up being the last one. Kevin Owens' music's hit. Distracts Sami Zayn. Riddle beats them. And then Riddle gets a title shot.
If that could be a scenario when Randy is maybe on his way back. Because I think that's what they're waiting for. I think they're waiting to see, okay, like, how serious is his injury? Because I feel like they're just finding things for Riddle to do right now.
They're not good.
It's just like, okay, go have a feud with Alpha Academy, and have matches with Chad Gable, which I'll take every day of the week. They had a great match. They're great wrestlers, but they need to find something serious for him to do.
Yeah, tag teaming with Elias. Come on.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not what I would have done.
Not very good.
But speaking of bad injuries, somebody might be coming back that has a bad neck.
Are
we? I think you're wearing his shirt, aren't you?
I am. Very excited. Very excited. And if you don't know what we're talking about, that's right. That's probably all I can play theme. So that we don't get taken off. Oh, I love that theme.
That heel theme.
Disturbed.
Yeah.
Great one. Rumor has
Uh-oh. Did we lose Matt? Matt. We lost Matt. This is upsetting. Well, what Matt was going to say was the rumor out there is that it was reported by I want to say it was reported by Fightful.com that WWE, the new regime, has offered Stone Cold a match. And this is the first news that we're hearing about this. I have a scenario. I was gonna wait for Matt to come back. I don't know if he is coming back though. But all right, I'll start now. I have a theory about what I think Austin is gonna do. He could have a match with Cena. He could have a match with Punk. Should things go right there, if he gets bought out by his contract in AEW. All right, give me 5 seconds. I'm just texting Matt, seeing what happened. Okay. But yeah, some people want Cena, some people want Punk, and it all depends. If Punk can get out of his AEW contract, if Tony Khan buys him out, I mean, if you're Triple H, you gotta try and decide if you want to do business with Punk. Do you want him for WrestleMania? Is it you want to just bring him for a one-off and have him a match with Austin? There's all possibilities. I would go and do it with Cena. I think that's kind of that's more of a dream match than Punk. But I've seen some people say, they want to see Punk and Austin, and I wouldn't mind it, but it's it's more unlikely. I'll just say that it's more unlikely that we get Austin and Punk, just because of all of the ramifications. And you're gonna bring him back and put him in the main event because if Austin, excuse me, if Austin is on Mania, he's main eventing. So then you have to think about the locker room saying, okay, Punk just caused all this trouble over in their other wrestling company. Now he's getting put in the main event of WrestleMania. So there are some obstacles. And Matt's back, thank God. I could never do a podcast alone in my life.
I apologize. As soon as I played Austin's music, fucking YouTube police popped right in the house. I had to fight them off, but
Wow.
I'm back, and I'm sorry, Sal.
That's fine. I tried to hold it down as much as I could.
You were reaching for the tag. I was leaning on the apron, and then they pulled me off the apron. They started beating the shit out of me in the corner. But I'm back. And speaking of back, what? I said, speaking of being back, what? Stone motherfucking Cold Steve Austin is rumored to be having another WrestleMania match. And the guy looks to be in better shape than half the fucking roster. Yeah. So sign me up.
No, I'm a huge fan of nostalgia, especially in wrestling. I love my nostalgia, so definitely why not? I mean, it's WrestleMania. It's going to be in LA. He did incredible with Kevin Owens last year. Bring him back. Why not? I mean, if that offer is on the table, you know, you got
How
to
can
make
it not be? How
Yeah,
can it not be on the table?
you got to make that
Because
offer.
you know what? 2 nights of WrestleMania. There's a lot of shit to fill, and you need enough attractions for both nights. Listen, it's been rumored for over a year it's going to be Rock and Roman. You know,
Yeah,
could that happen? We don't know.
we
But the
don't know.
alternative to Rock and Roman is Roman and Cody. And you know what? That's not bad either.
No,
But, that's obviously night 2. Roman's closing out WrestleMania. He's not a night 1 guy.
Roman and Rock. If that's happening, that's closing out WrestleMania. That'll be a night 2 main event. But if you can get, and I was saying this while you were gone, if you can get Stone Cold and Cena in a match, oh god! I mean, you right then and there, just with those 2 main events, it's one of the biggest WrestleManias of all time. I mean, there's nothing that can compare to it. Just because, okay, you have those 2 main events, then you think of all the other people that are going to be on the card. Where's Cody going to be? Cody's going to be there. Logan Paul. Hey, Logan Paul today said he wants a match with John Cena at WrestleMania. So you had Cody, you have Logan Paul, you got Lesnar's going to be on the card, Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. You have so many names.
I just had a vision. I just had a vision. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Cody comes back at the Royal Rumble.
Right.
Number 29.
Mm-hmm.
Number 30, The Rock.
See,
wait.
I don't know.
The end result, you may be on board for. Cody gets that pop. Cody's back. Everyone goes crazy. He eliminates Rollins. Rock comes back. Rock wins the Rumble. Rock goes on and he challenges Roman at WrestleMania night 2. Night 1, you know what you bring back? The fucking Money in the Bank ladder match. Cody wins the Money in the Bank ladder match. And as Roman stands over The Rock, night 2, Cody's music's hit. He cashes in on Roman and he wins the match and he wins the titles.
See, I have a different theory. I have a completely different theory. And I only thought about this the other day when the report came out about Stone Cold. Because Rock versus Roman doesn't need the title. It's a big enough match where it has a big enough story. There's 2 big names in there. It really doesn't need the title. But how you get the titles off Roman? You have the Royal Rumble be for the titles. You have Roman in the Royal Rumble for the championships. You have Cody, whatever number, in the 20s. He'll come out. The final 3 would be Seth Rollins, Cody, and Roman. Cody dumps Seth. And then it's Cody and Roman face off. And then The Rock's music hits. He comes out. He's not in the Royal Rumble. All the entrants he just comes out. And he distracts Roman. Cody dumps Roman out. New champion. And Cody just dumped Seth out. So you could do Cody and Seth for the titles. And there you go. You just set up Roman and Rock.
That is very, very interesting.
The only problem with all of that is how are you not going to have Cody with the titles in the main event of WrestleMania? Because if Austin is actually coming back and having a match with Cena, that's going to be the main event of night 1.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what I was thinking is you can put that title match right before it with Cody and Seth. So that's kind of because let's face it, Stone Cold versus John Cena, it's a spectacle. It's going to be more of a brawl. It's going to be kind of like what Stone Cold and Kevin Owens was. It wasn't a 5-star classic in the ring. It was
But
more of a brawl.
it's still Stone Cold versus John Cena.
Oh no, that's the
Two of the
point I'm
Mount
making.
Rushmores.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be a good match. I think people would be fine with just seeing them face off and do view stunners, and then so my thing is have Seth and Cody for the titles right before Austin and Cena. So that's it's still your main event, but it really isn't. It's the last match of the night, and then you move into Cena and Austin, which is it's a match, but it's more of a brawl. They're going to be fighting out in the crowd and around the arena and stuff like that. So that's what I would do, because you can't have Austin and Cena in the middle of the match. It'd be like when they had Hogan and Rock in the middle of the card, and then Triple H and Jericho had to fight for the title in the main event. Nobody cared. Well, the crowd was kind of dead, but
I like it. I like that. That's definitely different. The titles in the Rumble. But I feel like with this run that Roman's been on, historic, this is never going to happen again. They're never putting the main, especially if there's only one champion, they're not putting it on one guy for almost 1,000 days, because that's what we're almost going to get to by the time we get to WrestleMania. And I feel like when Roman loses those belts, it has to be a pinfall. You have to have that 1,
yeah, I get
2,
it.
3, and with the way the Money in the Bank ended with the U.S. title,
Yeah, the Money
and
in
the
the Bank has a
reason
bad
that
taste in my mouth, right? That's why that Money in the Bank, like, if you bring it back so fast to WrestleMania, it's kind of like, oh my god, they just had a failed cash in and it was horrible. And then you're gonna you have Cody win, because
you throw the big guys in there. You need big names in there. Get Cody in there. Get Seth in there. Because I mean, if you think about it, if it's the night 1 of WrestleMania and Roman's wrestle on night 2, you have a chance to make history. You can cash
yeah,
in that night, and then you either cash it in on Roman or The Rock. And for him, he stands over The Rock, he gets the mic and goes, Los Angeles, acknowledge, and then Cody's music's hit with the briefcase. Place is gonna go ape shit.
yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea if they didn't just do what they did with the case.
But I feel like if he's gonna get rid of the gimmick pay-per-views, and if it's WrestleMania is gonna be 2 nights from here on in, you have Money in the Bank night 1. I think it gives you more time to showcase the people, and you could not corner yourself with a stupid gimmick pay-per-view
No, I agree
just
with
because
that.
it's June or July.
I definitely agree with
Like,
that.
getting rid of Hell in a Cell is fantastic because it should be a special match. Same thing. Put Money in the Bank back where it belongs, back with WrestleMania, and enough with these gimmicky pay-per-views.
My only thing is, Cody's going to come back. He's going to win these. He's the favorite to win the Rumble. Like, how do you go if the Rock is going to have a match with Roman? How do you go about adding Cody to any like? I mean, I see some people saying, well, maybe Cody will fight Roman on night 1, and then Roman will have fight Roman, fight The Rock the next day. Like he'll
But
do
then we go into
like a double header.
But it's the same thing, though. You need what is that match going to kick off the show? You're going to kick off the show with Cody beating Roman for one title?
No, it'd be the main event night 1.
Austin and Cena if that happens though. When do you do that?
Yeah, that's the problem. That's
You
it,
know?
there's so many obstacles, and that's a good thing because we're guessing. We don't know after like 10 years of knowing what the main event was going to be every year. We finally don't know. Like we're kind of like we don't really know what the main event's going to be.
And then what you could do with Cody with just his character. If he does cash in on Roman and it is for both titles and there is no like loophole that I mentioned on previous shows to where the contract was never updated, blah blah blah.
Right.
But if Cody does beat Roman for both belts, I could see Cody looking at them and saying that it was his lifelong dream to be the WWE champion, not the undisputed, WWE Universal champion. So therefore, I don't want to hog.
Yeah.
I don't want to, do what Roman did. He vacates the Universal title. There's a massive tournament for it. Or, you do what happened with Becky. When Becky was both, she had to defend both separately and, each night. You could do something like that. But then, do you really want Cody losing right away as
No,
champion?
and that's the problem. If you're bringing back Cody, you're gonna have him win the Royal Rumble. You're gonna have him big moment at WrestleMania. That's Cody's the wild card in all this because
He is.
he
Because if he was healthy, he wins Money in the Bank, and who knows what happens after that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. They have people like guessing, like even people in the know, like like we don't know, even people
And
that
it's
should
great.
know, and that's what wrestling should be. It should be like scenarios and fantasy booking and stuff like that. That's what wrestling should be instead of okay, we know what we're gonna get. And that was like I said, the last 10 years, you knew what the main event was gonna be. Now we don't. We really don't. I mean, we have an idea, but it's not definite.
But even usually around this time too, you kind of know who's going to win the Rumble, or you have an idea.
I
I
think
mean,
Cody's gonna win it. I mean
if
that's almost like a shoe. Like that's a shoe in. If you have Cody come back and he doesn't win it, that's not gonna be good.
Seth screws him, Seth eliminates him. I mean, after Seth was already eliminated. I mean, listen, AJ Styles debuted in the Royal Rumble. He didn't win it. He didn't make the Final Four.
Yeah,
I know it's a different
yeah,
scenario. It's a
a little
debut
bit.
as a return from injury, but if he's not challenging Roman, he's not winning the Rumble. That's the only reason why.
Right.
Like I don't want The Rock to win the Rumble, and I love The Rock, but it's almost like if it is Rock and Roman, something's gotta give to where it only makes sense if The Rock wins the Rumble. I don't know. Maybe they could start the dissension with the bloodline where Sami Zayn invites The Rock somewhere. I don't know.
They could
It's
go so
all
many different pathways and scenarios, and they could do it. They really have so many options, but who knows? Maybe at the end of the day, we don't get any of this. We don't
right.
get Stone Cold, we don't get The Rock, and we get Roman and Cody, which would be great, and something. I think John Cena is definitely going to be there. That's one thing that I think is concrete. I think I saw a
Yeah.
report where it said that he's planning on being there in wrestling. So, who knows? Maybe he fights Logan Paul. Logan Paul called him out today. That would be a great match, but we'll see.
I don't know if I want to see John Cena fight Logan Paul after Cena hasn't wrestled in over a year.
Yeah, but that
Especially at
would
WrestleMania.
would get some eyes.
All right, so if
Logan Paul's great. He is
Okay, so
unnatural.
he is. The only way I would be okay with Cena and Logan Paul is if it's Stone Cold, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it's someone else who
Yeah.
wore this shirt one time, and that's CM Punk. And I don't want to say it because we all know how I feel about him, but
Mhm.
I also understand what's best for business. And Triple H knows what's best for business, even if it's a one-off,
I
just
would
to give him,
say
what he wants.
I mentioned this while you were gone. I said that Punk could be an option, but Tony Khan is scared to death. If he says, okay, I'm going to buy CM Punk out and he's going to walk out the door, he does not want him going over there and having Triple H just snatch him away and putting on a main event with Stone Cold and at WrestleMania. I'm telling you, Tony Khan he might not say it, he might not show it, but behind the scenes, he is probably scared to death of that happening. He is.
I hope it does.
I think it might be. I don't know. It's what's taking so long. Why hasn't he bought him out yet? Is that non-compete clause still bothering him? And that's another thing. Why is Tony so bothered by that? Because
Yeah.
he knows exactly what Triple H is going to say. Okay,
Okay.
we'll bring him over here.
Let
We'll put him in our main event.
bygones. Yeah,
It's
bygones
only
be
business.
bygones.
It's at the end of the day, this is a
Exactly.
business.
Exactly.
It's like if Aaron Judge left the Yankees and went to the Giants, well, it's a business at the end of the day. If that happens, that's what's going to happen.
Okay. Well, if that does happen, the Yankees could go fuck themselves.
Yeah,
And it's going to
yeah,
take me a long time to forgive
yeah,
them.
yeah. I'm with you on that one, but I'd be fine with Austin and Cena. I'd be fine with Austin and Punk. I'd be fine with either of them. I think though the bigger money match is Austin and Cena. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't eat it. I honestly don't think in wrestling you can get two bigger main events than Austin and Cena and Roman and Rock. No, where in
Yeah.
wrestling can you get a main event like that? You can't. I like to see
They don't.
AEW try.
Yeah. They can't.
No
I
hate
mean,
on
they don't.
no hate on AEW, but I don't think they're getting close to that.
No. And don't let them tell you otherwise. So if Austin does come back, do you want Cena or do you want Punk? What would you
I would do
prefer?
Cena. I would do Cena because there's more money in it. You get more eyeballs on the product.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And I think it would be awesome to see that. You can do
Yeah.
you can do Austin and Punk at a later time if it's still available, but you're not always going to get Austin and Cena.
Yeah.
With their schedules, Cena's a movie star now, doing TV. So you're not always going to have the opportunity to do that. What's Punk going to be doing? He's going to be commentating an MMA fight that nobody's watching. So,
Yeah.
you got some time to do that if Austin wants to have another match after this one. That's even
That's
if
true.
he's going to have this match.
I mean, he's working out. He looks in great shape,
He looks fantastic.
and it's around this time that you get ready for Mania. So,
I'm
it's
hoping
definitely a
I'm hoping it
possibility.
happens.
Me too.
Anytime that glass breaks, I pop.
Oh, hell yeah. That
I
was
said yes.
unintentional.
I I said the other day, I said, when Stone Cold's 90 years old and he walks out with a cane and that, and I'm still gonna pop. He'll have
Yeah.
a cane in one hand and a beer in the other, and he have that musical hit, and I'm gonna still pop.
Listen, it's probably one of the most there is.
No, yeah, definitely.
It's just
You're gonna get
it's
you're
gonna
gonna get
happen
kicked
again.
out again. YouTube's gonna kick you out.
Well, before they do that, let me pause for a quick commercial break, and then we will get into Full Gear, and
Yes.
we'll talk about that a little bit. So hold on, uno momento. We will be right back, and we're back. And let me just go to my old Google machine because I have not watched AEW. Aside
It's not
from
like you've
Raw
missed
on
a lot.
Monday, and that's what I've been seeing and hearing. Only thing I really watched was Raw on Monday, and then I watched a little bit of NXT last night. And Zoe Starks
Oh
is
God, please.
horrendous, horrendous. My
I
wife
like
was
Zoe,
on the. What happened?
but I like Zoe, but dear God, I don't know what that promo was. That was,
Less is more.
yeah, either that or just have him get a manager or have somebody else talk or that wasn't
Yeah,
good. No,
my
no.
my wife was like, she's like really annoying. What is she even saying? And I'm like, I don't know. I can't listen to this.
I was doing coverage on it, and I did not see one good thing about that from people that were giving me feedback. But
I wrote back to
uh,
you rough. I was like rough.
yeah, I got a lot of engagements on that, and not one. I don't think any of them were positive.
That's terrible.
Uh, yeah. But speaking of not positive, this pay per view on Saturday, AEW Full Gear. Before we even start with predictions or talk about the matches that are on it, oh, Lazarius. Love sorry, that promo was absolutely it was Lazarius. It really
That's
was.
hilarious.
And I like Zoe Stark too, but whoa, I don't know. That wasn't that promo was not good. And Marina Shafir.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yikes. But back to full gear. I'll tell you what, I'm not excited for this pay-per-view at all. If I'm being completely honest, if I wasn't doing coverage for Wrestling Inc. on this pay-per-view, I would not watch. It's just,
Woof.
yeah, it has been built up brutally. It's just everything's been rushed. Everything's been thrown together. Some of the matches don't even have much meaning or intrigue.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right
I
now.
mean, the only thing I could say that I'm really excited about would be the outcome of the MJF Moxley match for the AEW title. I'm not even excited for the match itself. I'm excited for the
It's
outcome.
just one of those things you want to know who wins.
Yeah, I just want to know who wins and how it happens, and what they could do with the ending. But it's this. I know you're looking at the card right now, but this card is just, I don't know.
I
It's
think
not
this
one
is
of the better
absolute
AEW
cheese.
cards. It's
It
not
looks
one of the better
terrible.
AEW cards. I think Tony Khan just said, "Well, we have a pay-per-view coming up, so let's just throw some things together." I mean,
Yeah, right. See what
some of these
sticks.
matches, I'm looking at it too. Some of these matches have been built up for a little while, but the intrigue's just not there. At least for me, it's not. I know for some other people, it's not either. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, not one of the
It doesn't look.
AEW pay-per-views I'm excited about.
Yeah, it doesn't really look. And listen, I'm not shitting on them. I would admit it if it looked good
No.
or not. I know who these people are. Mine is Jamie. Hoyter for
Jamie
and Tony
Hayter?
Storm. Hater, yeah.
Oh, she's over. She's like their number one right now. I like it
Yeah,
too. I like Jamie Hayter.
it's terrible. It's COVID knocked me the F out. I couldn't do anything. And also, I don't really watch AEW. I'm busy on Wednesdays. Let me
You
see.
want to do a little? You want to run it down? Do some predictions.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Ooh. Oh, she's pretty hot. All right. Do you have the card? We'll go off.
I
You might
have the
have
card.
a
We'll start from the top.
right.
Moxley, MJF for the world AEW world title.
I'm gonna go with MJF.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to MJF too. Like I said, the match itself, Moxley matches don't do much for me. They don't really excite me. It's the same match over and over and over again. You know what's gonna happen. I'm excited about the outcome because
Yeah.
what's gonna happen? They've kind of been teasing MJF as a babyface, kind of, with this whole Firm faction. By the way, the Firm is one of the most random thrown together factions I've ever seen. It's just like, okay, who doesn't have any TV time? We're just gonna throw you in one group. That's what the
Union.
Firm reminds me. It's the Union. They should go out there with what do they hold?
2x4s.
2x4s. They just go send them out there with 2x4s and call themselves the Union at this point.
Oh man.
So I'm sure they're going to be involved with Stokely Hathaway. But I'm hoping this ends with MJF winning the title. If it doesn't, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, especially with how they're booking him and everything else.
Yeah. Next match for the tag team titles: The Acclaim versus Swerve in Our Glory. Stop me if you heard this before. This match has happened multiple times, and we're getting it again. Meanwhile, FTR is just sitting on the
Where are
sidelines. They've been on TV, at least we can say that. They've been on TV the last few weeks, but the fact that they don't
That's
have
terrible.
the AEW tag titles is just ridiculous. But I'll go with the Acclaimed here, and if anything else, if any other outcome happens in this match, I think I might turn it off.
You're like, sorry guys, we're
Sorry,
done
guys.
tonight.
Can't do any more coverage.
I love the Acclaimed. They're so over. All day. Scissor me. I'm going with the Acclaimed.
The Acclaimed is the most over tag team in the business.
Yeah,
I'll go
absolutely.
as far as to say that. I mean, I'm the only people that might even come close to touching them are the Usos.
Yeah,
but they're involved in the most over faction.
Yeah, that's
in the
true.
business. So the Acclaimed is the most over tag team in wrestling, and you have to continue that. And they've been teasing Keith Lee and Swerve breaking up for weeks, so that's probably gonna be the outcome of all this.
Do it.
Yep.
Keith Lee and Swerve, which is pretty cool. I think back when AEW had a show in I think Brooklyn or Queens. Maybe their Queens show. I don't know if you've seen on social media, but did I get kicked again? Might have got kicked again. That's crazy.
No,
that is
you're
absolutely crazy. I can't believe it. Again?
No, I think you're good. You hear me?
Did I get kicked or am I back?
No, you're good.
Okay, cool. I was just texting you like again because everything went black. It started spinning. But it was pretty cool. The not the Acclaimed, Swerve and Keith Lee. They visited the wrestling club. It's a teacher out in Brooklyn who has a club for kids to like watch wrestling and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Where was that? I
reached out to him about being on the show, and hopefully, we could schedule that and have him on there. But Yeah, right. Same thing. I was like, wrestling, you got made fun of, but now it's everyone loves it, and what they did was pretty cool. So, um, you know, I still think the Acclaim's gonna win though.
Yeah, they better win. Okay, the next one, interim AEW Women's World Title. You have Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter. I know you don't. Do you know who either of them are? Are you on a delay?
I know Tony Storm.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm going with
I
Jamie
can't
Hayter.
really hear you, man.
Hear me?
I'm sorry. My connection's like shot.
You good now? No.
I think so, maybe. Yeah, you know what? You could just run through the card. If you don't hear me, then let me see. If you don't hear me, then just keep running through it.
Okay. Okay, next match we got the Ring of Honor World Title: Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson, Claudio, and Sammy Guevara. I think this will be a good match. The Ring of Honor stuff in AEW just really it hasn't been working. It's just kind of like it's there. They need to get Ring of Honor and put it on its own show. Just on a streaming service or a network. And I know Tony Khan's trying for that, so maybe that'll happen in the future. But you know, Chris Jericho as a Ring of Honor World Title. I don't know. He's been having good matches, but the Ring of Honor stuff doesn't do much for me. But this should be a good match. You have Jericho, Danielson, Claudio, and Sammy Guevara, and if Bryan Danielson doesn't win this match, then I'm just gonna riot. I'm
I
just gonna
I
riot for AEW.
I feel like it's almost why even have him in the company if you're not going to utilize him the right way. It almost just doesn't make sense.
They have made Bryan Danielson just another guy, and I just don't get it. I don't understand it. He came in as the biggest star, and now he's just another guy in a faction, and I don't get it. I'd have him win this match, and if he doesn't, then I don't. I'm just gonna throw my hands up and say I give up because I don't get. I could totally see Chris Jericho winning again because it's Chris Jericho. I'm a big fan of Chris Jericho, but it you know,
That doesn't make sense.
yeah, not all Chris Jericho ideas are good ideas, and that's coming from a fan of Chris Jericho. But next match, you have Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus in a steel cage match. This is one of those matches that has had a very long build just because Christian Cage is out with an injury. So they're trying to extend it as much as they possibly can until he's healed up. I don't know. We just saw a steel cage. That's another thing. Like, we're seeing multiple, gimmick matches in a row. Like, we just saw a steel cage match. I know it was in a different company, but at Crown Jewel we saw Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross in a steel cage match, and now we're getting another one a few weeks later. It just takes away from that match, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll go with Jungle Boy for this one, but I can see it going either way. This rivalry right now is just kind of like I wanted to just let's get to the point.
Yeah.
Let's get to the point of all this. I know they're waiting for Christian to heal up, and I don't know how long it's going to take, but hopefully soon. So, I'm sure it'll be a good match, but just like with a lot of matches on this card, it's just the intrigue for me is just not there.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, I even looked at it, and I know, the internet is kicking my ass today, but, sorry, first of all, for those technical difficulties. not how we wanted to, present our 20th episode for you guys, but hopefully AEW has a little better presentation for everyone on what is it on Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday night.
On Saturday. And you know, I don't know if it's just Tony trying to combat, with the steel cage, but it goes down to, are we just having these matches to have them, or does it make sense story-wise?
I think a lot of it is just let's have this match and extend this story as long as we can. And I think, at some point people are just going to be like, okay, like, can we see something else?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
can we just see something else at this point? But the next match we got here is Saraya and Britt Baker. And I'll say one thing for this. They blew me away last week. That was a really good promo segment in the ring on Dynamite last week between Saraya and Britt Baker. I thought they nailed it. But you know what? Saraya having her first match back in like 5 years?
Almost, yeah.
Shouldn't it feel like more of a bigger deal than it does? Like, I feel like it's not feeling like a big deal.
It doesn't feel like it. I agree with you. It doesn't feel like a big deal. And the fact that, I don't want to say no one cares, but I mean, that's what it pretty much is. No one really cares. Maybe it's been a little too long for her.
It could be, but she came when she first came into AEW. I was like, wow, this is gonna be a big deal. Like, that's she's a big star. She's a big star for WWE. The hell, they made a movie out of her. So I was like, yeah, AEW could be turning the corner here on this women's division, and
That'd be great.
Still, yeah, it would be great, but it still feels like nothing has changed.
Yeah.
And it's just still the same way. And, so I'll be interested to see how this match goes. But is there intrigue for me in this a little bit more than some of these matches? But I don't know. Well, hopefully Saraya does well and it's a good match. But
Yeah.
where do we go from there?
That's true. Yeah.
Like, where, like, does she? I know Jade Cargill has a match with Nyla Rose on this card, but does Saraya go? Is she going to face Jade Cargill after this, or where are we going with this? That's the bigger question.
That's true. Who knows? Because
Who knows?
Obviously she has to win it, right?
Oh, if she doesn't win it, then what's the point?
I mean, you say the same thing about Daniel Bryan. It's more like, what has he won? A couple of draws, with Kenny Omega. He's not even here.
Yeah, I mean, he won. He won last week against Sammy Guevara in the main event, but like, he needs to be a bigger name than Sammy Guevara. You got to go beat. That's why I say go beat Jericho. Go beat him for the title in this for your Fatal 4 where they got in this card. I want old Bryan Danielson back, and we don't have him right now. I mean, he's doing fantastic in the ring, but everything else is just like,
Yeah.
And speaking of nostalgia, last match on the card, Double J, Jeff Jarrett, and Jay Lethal against Sting and Darby Allin. And I'll tell you what, if you like nostalgia, like I do, this match is for you. But if you're somebody that doesn't like nostalgia, why is this match why is this match on the card? Why is it happening? I don't get it. I'm gonna enjoy this because it's nostalgia.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody that hates it, you're not really gonna like this match.
No, and I'm pissed with Jeff Jarrett for being selfish and going to AEW because being that he did leave, they're no longer making the Mattel Ultimate Edition Double J 1994 figure. And I'm very upset about
Oh,
that. Very
damn.
upset about that.
Yeah, that's well.
It's terrible.
Triple H showed him the door. He said, "I I got Road Dog. I'm going to show Jeff Jarrett the door and say goodbye." But and I see some people on Twitter saying, "Oh, why is Jeff Jarrett like? Why is he on television? Why is AEW doing this?" He did. He's Jeff Jarrett. It's he to me. I like him. I've always liked him. Maybe not so much in WCW, but um, he has a place in wrestling. He should always have a place in wrestling, in my opinion.
I agree, but it shouldn't be in the ring. He could be a great mic person. But I
Mhm.
mean, hey, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, we'll have to see. We'll
They
have to
gave
see
him a
what
business.
happens.
They gave him. He's working behind the scenes, business development, live events, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that part is great. But if you're gonna have Jeff Jarrett on television, like make it good. I don't know. Like the last few segments with him since he's been there has been just not that great. So if you're gonna have
And
him on TV, make it be good. Like,
and what was one of the first things he did?
yeah,
They can't
guitar
help
right over.
themselves.
No,
They can't
and
help themselves.
it reminds me of that famous quote by I think it was Mike Graham. He said Jeff Jarrett Jeff Jarrett smashed a guitar over hundreds of guys' heads and never drew a dime. And that's a famous quote. And I like Jeff Jarrett, but anytime he was in a position of being the top guy, he didn't really draw that well. He had great matches, but never connected with the people. And he's 55 years old now. He's not, they're not going to put him in a world title match, but every now and then a little nostalgia match, or that's fine. But if he's going to be on TV every week,
That's a problem.
I don't need that. And meanwhile, we have Ricky Starks that Ricky Starks is somewhere just roaming around, not and catering. Like, come on, where's Miro?
Right?
Yeah, where'd he go?
Where's FTR? Just like where are these guys?
Missing. And Tony has like a storage garage, and he just puts all his toys back in it.
It's funny. CM Punk during the MJF feud was like, "Oh, the grass isn't always greener." Maybe a lot of people are starting to figure that the grass in AEW isn't as greener as they thought it would be.
I'm sure some people say that right now.
But I wish nothing but the best. Competition's healthy, competition is good, and it leads to innovative and new ideas. And speaking of innovative and new ideas, what's this Shawn Michaels match for
Oh dear
NXT?
God.
We'll end on that. We'll end on
Yeah,
that note.
please end on that. Oh God, it's too many rules for me to explain.
It honestly, it looks like the King of the Mountain.
Kind of.
That's hilarious.
Can you imagine though? I have to do coverage on that match.
Oh
How
my!
how am I doing the coverage on that match?
You're gonna
I'm
have
not
to
even.
just have a thread just for that match, and just
I'm gonna
add new
have to.
tweet, add new tweet, add new tweet.
That's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna be really earning my paycheck that night. Jesus.
Hey, the more tweets, the more $1 million status. Bring it in.
Oh man.
But that's
You're right,
funny.
Ladarius.
That's really funny. Ladarius, Sal's doing the Lord's work covering that.
It ain't gonna be easy.
And unfortunately, this episode wasn't easy. Technical difficulties. I'm on my Mac. My camera makes me look like I'm in a dungeon right now. So, hopefully things are better next week. And next week's Thanksgiving, we'll either have a Monday or a Wednesday episode for you. Maybe we could do like a best of Survivor Series, and we'll talk about Survivor Series, and we'll get into that. But hopefully you guys will join us, and hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. We want to thank you, and we will do our best to be more consistent and to be here for you addicts, because what's an addict without their fix? And we'll make sure to give you your fix every single week. Take care